Insider drops bombshell Warriors trade report. We got a major update on the Jonathan Kuminga sign-and-trade saga as the Warriors' top insider Anthony Slater confirms rumors on where Kaminga could land as trade rumblings heat up. Will Warriors GM Mike Dunleavy pull the trigger on a major trade before the draft wraps up? Well, in today's video, we'll break down the new report, the impact this will have on the Warriors moving forward. Plus, Kaminga revealed some very interesting insights to Anthony Slater in that new interview that tells us everything we need to know about his future. First though, what's up? I'm Arthur Ballesteros. This is Warriors Digest. We bring you daily videos breaking down everything going on with the Golden State Warriors. And if you're part of this percentage here who watches our videos on a regular basis, but you haven't subscribed, hit the button. It really helps the channel and you stay in the loop and get notified when new videos drop because things are moving fast here as the draft is in about 30 minutes as I'm recording this. This is probably a mistake to record this then, but we got a new report out from Anthony Slater, who writes for The Athletic. He's moving over to ESPN, and he's been the top Warriors insider for years now, but he dropped this report in The Athletic and in the New York Times. Jonathan Kuminga wants the chance to chase stardom, and will it be with the Warriors? So Kuminga went on the record here, gave some very interesting insights on what he's looking for in his future team, and Slater went on in the article here to confirm some trade rumors that we've been hearing a lot about recently. I'm going to get to that in just a second, but I want to share with you what Kuminga himself had to say in this interview. He said that he feels like he's at the point where that has to be my priority, just to be one of the guys a team relies on, aiming to be an all-star multiple times, aiming to be great wherever I'm going to be at. It doesn't matter if it's the Warriors or if it's anywhere else. It's something I want. I want to see what I could do. I know I got it, so I want to really see. I've never got that chance. He went on to say, I did it here and there, but it was never a consistent role given to me. It only happens 5 games on, 10 games off. I want it to be a consistent role because I know what I got. I know what I could bring, and I know how much work I put into it. I know I'm dedicated to this game and how much I love this game. Now, very interesting here with Kuminga's comments here. I mean, it's basically just saying he doesn't feel like he's going to get the opportunities here. He's never got consistent opportunities. We know that. We know we can debate all day the reasons behind that, but he's looking for something else, and I think he's stating that very clearly to Anthony Slater. Now, Slater went on in this interview to reveal and confirm some rumors that we've been hearing. So Anthony Slater said, given the limitations, will the Warriors front office find a palatable enough sign-and-trade package to part with Kaminga? Well, the Kevin Durant trade might have helped. The Miami Heat missed out on Durant and have legitimate interest in Kaminga per league sources, among others expected to explore the idea as the market materializes. The Brooklyn Nets loom as a possible offer sheet team, but they did use a chunk of their cap space in a Tuesday night trade from Anthony Slater there. So, I mean, this led to all the headlines here today. Warriors Jonathan Kuminga reportedly drawing legitimate trade interest from the Heat. This is from Bleacher Report. Basically, every major NBA publication was dropping this Anthony Slater interview here with Kaminga and tying it to the Heat here, who we've heard for a long time now have interest. And I made a video, I think just last week, about some rumblings we heard from some other insiders about the Heat being interested in Kaminga and potentially wanting to part with Wiggins. Now, we have a ton of reports out that the Heat are actively looking to move Wiggins. Is this a match here? Well, it's a little bit tricky here. So when we look at this here, as I broke down before in my other video here, this is something around the package that would have to be put together in order to get these salaries to match. Because as everybody has told you ad nauseum, I've said 1,000 times, the Jonathan Kuminga sign and trade is very tricky due to the new CBA. His salary in his first year is only going to count for 50% going out. So it's really difficult to make the salaries match up. But this is something that could be done in order to get Andrew Wiggins in return here. I want to know what you have to think about getting Wiggins back. We've discussed it a lot. As I go through the Heat's roster, I just don't see much that's that enticing that the Heat are legitimately going to want to give up. Of course, everybody wants Bam. The Heat aren't giving him up for Jonathan Kuminga. Even Tyler Hero, like that's not going to work. Even the young center that they have, the Khalil Ware, the Heat are not going to part with him. And it's very difficult with the salaries here to get something to match. This is basically the best return that the Warriors could get in a deal with the Heat. A lot of people aren't really excited about this. It still doesn't fill the need of the center position and a stretch five big who can space the floor. But it does reunite us with another need that we have, which is a 3-and-D wing here with Andrew Wiggins. So let me know what you think of that trade there. I do think that there is still some interesting possibilities here with the Bulls. We do know that the Bulls are still interested in Jonathan Kuminga. It just looks like the Heat are showing a little bit more interest right now. This is something that some insiders from Bleacher Report floated out as a potential deal, moving Jonathan Kuminga to the Bulls and moving Moses Moody over to the Hornets in a 3-team deal. The Warriors would get back Lonzo Ball, Jalen Smith, Josh Okogie, and one first-round pick and 5 second-round picks, which basically would replenish all the second-rounders that the Warriors have lost in various trades over the past couple of years here. Let me know what you think about this deal. Could be interesting. I mean, Lonzo Ball, while he doesn't, fill one of the immediate needs that the Warriors have in terms of like a defensive stalwart in the paint there, stretch five big, a 3-and-D wing, he does provide something that the Warriors also need, although maybe not their top priority, but a backup point guard for the minutes that Steph Curry is going to need to be off the floor in order to keep him healthy for a deep playoff run. Now, Lonzo Ball, a ridiculous injury history, so this would be a wild risk for the Warriors. But, his salary's only got 2 years left on a $20 million deal there. He's not extremely expensive. And when he's on the floor, he can produce. So very interesting. We know that the Bulls are interested. I think that there may be a little bit more that we could get back in return from the Bulls. Obviously, a lot of people like to talk about Coby White. I don't think that the Bulls are going to be willing to part with him. They're looking to build around their young nucleus of Josh Giddey, Coby White, potentially Jonathan Kuminga as well. So I just don't see them parting with somebody like that. Nikola Vucevic, of course, we've talked about ad nauseum, the Bulls center, who could be a very interesting fit with the Warriors here as well. But just all sorts of chatter. Yesterday, a ton of chatter. And Boston Celtics are listening to offers on Golden State Warriors trade target. Now, this is talking about Derek White, the Boston Celtics guard, who it looks like the Celtics moved the two biggest pieces that they needed to move during their fire sale here with Kristaps Porzingis yesterday, and then being able to move on from Drew Holiday just a couple of days before. A lot of insiders are saying that the Celtics probably aren't going to make a third move, as they've now kind of relieved themselves from that looming second apron issue that they were having. So they may not have the need, but there is a ton of rumors going around that the Celtics, a ton of teams have been calling them about Derek White and Jaylen Brown, two more pivotal pieces with the Boston franchise. The Celtics are getting offers, calls on both Jaylen Brown and Derek White, but their preference is to keep both players. But they are listening. Is a team going to get there? That's according to Shams Charania of ESPN. So very credible sources there. I don't see that happening. Derek White is going to cost way too much. The Warriors just don't have enough assets to part with that, although he would be a perfect fit, kind of along the lines of, how Porzingis would have been a great fit. Despite all of his injury issues. Sure, we're talking in a hypothetical world if he could stay healthy. But two major moves happened yesterday that had links to the Warriors in some way or another. Obviously, I made that video yesterday about, the rumors about Kristaps Porzingis coming to the Warriors. 2 hours later, he got traded to the Hawks. But look at this deal. Kristaps Porzingis goes to the Hawks. The Hawks only had to give up Georges Niang and a first-round pick, which is number 22. They have 2 first-round picks this year. Not a very big package at all for somebody like Kristaps Porzingis. Of course, there's a lot of risk there, but the Warriors couldn't get that done, probably for the best. I was not an advocate for that trade because I just think it's too risky. $30 million Kristaps Porzingis, it just wasn't worth it. But then we saw our old homie, Jordan Poole, get traded yesterday as well to the Pelicans. So things are moving fast now. As that first domino fell, the big domino with Kevin Durant going to Houston, it now sets in motion a ton of other trades. So I'm going to hear what you think. Do you think that this package for Kaminga is enough? Do you think that the Heat are a viable option? Would you be happy getting Andrew Wiggins in return, or are you more interested in a deal with the Bulls? It looks like the Nets are probably out of the picture. I mean, from a lot of sources and a lot of things that I've been reading, they apparently have zero interest in Jonathan Kuminga, even though they have the most money, they have the cap room to straight up sign him if they wanted to an offer sheet. But it doesn't look like they're interested, which is kind of bad for the Warriors because it really starts to limit their trade partners here. And it looks like it's whittling down to the Heat and Bulls. But it will be very interesting to see what happens around the draft. It's starting in about 20 minutes. Let me know your thoughts. We're crossing our fingers for a big upgrade to solidify at least the Warriors bench here in this first day of the draft. So let me know your thoughts down below, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Peace.